Hey, welcome back to another Anime Expo Lite live stream from the fine folks at Bluefin. Today we're going to be talking all about Pretty Guardian, Sailor Moon, Eternal, the movie, part one, part two on Netflix. Longest title ever, but we're excited to talk about it. Justin, AX Lite's going on. We got some cool stuff, don't we?
We do all kinds of amazing deals. My goodness, we got Captain Ginyu's only $50 for the SH figure arts from Tamashii Nations. We also have the Swordfish 2 from Pop Nika. Awesome. It's half off. Only $40 for this gorgeous die-cast 7.9-inch spaceship. My goodness, love it. You also have a deal on Figure Arts Mini. It is 3 for $50, which is a super awesome deal. And then you also have the NX Edge for, was it 2 for 55? And then we have Keyblades. We got all kinds like Ultraman action. Just a whole lot going on. So be sure to head over to bluefinbrands.com and save today.
That's right. And while you're on Bluefin Brands and you're saving money, you might as well try to get something for free. Go to bluefinbrands.com/contest. Enter to win our Ultimate Demon Slayer giveaway. We're giving away one of the swords, the Proplica swords. We're giving away a couple of the figure art zeros. We're giving away some amazing Shokugan items that I had on display up here earlier, but I took them down because this is not the Demon Slayer panel. But they are incredible. You get the full set. So go to bluefinbrands.com/contest to win that. But we're talking Sailor Moon today. We got some special guests. We had to bring in the experts. If you watched our earlier panel of ranking the anime, you learned that Mr. Cavender, Mr. AJ, and myself maybe aren't the best, most qualified people to talk about Sailor Moon. So we brought in two of our illustrious Sailor Scouts, some of the guardians of Bluefin. First, taking over for Mr. Clark because he was too scared to talk about Sailor Moon. We have Mr. Sean. Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
Awesome. Brand manager extraordinaire. What is your kind of your history with Sailor Moon? Have you been a fan for a while?
I've been watching since Moltar said this goes out to all the ladies.
All right. Awesome. And joining us remotely, live from her own home, we have Aya. Aya, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for inviting me for this live stream. And then I hope you guys hear well. Maybe not.
Yeah, we can hear
Okay.
You guys can hear? I can hear.
Oh.
I was just gonna smile and nod until I saw her lips stop moving and be like,
It's 'cause yours
awesome.
isn't plugged in all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, you got to plug it in all the way.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just going to assume, just like everything you ever do, what you said was amazing. So I won't ask you to repeat it. Did you tell us your origin story with Sailor Moon?
Not yet, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I grown up watching the Sailor Moon from my childhood. I mean, all of my friends in my school watch it, and then we play Sailor Moon thing, and then yeah. So I'm so excited to talk about it today with you guys.
Who did you play when you played Sailor Moon?
Oh, Mercury,
Oh,
That's the
because
one. There we go.
because actually that was kind of least popular character when it come to the we play it, because it's kind of little bit kind of hiding character, but at the same time I really love the character, and then I had the short hair, so all the short hair girls have to play the Mercury when I was children. So yeah.
you're pigeonholed from your hairstyle. I saw Steven just did a nice little focus on the SH Figure Arts, the anime color edition for all the Sailor Scouts. Of course, we have Uranus, we have Mars, Mercury, Moon, Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune. Thank you, Stephanie, for letting us borrow these. We promise not to open them or harm them or tear the package. You can watch this. That was Sean who did that, not me.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can definitely pick these up if you are a fan of Sailor Moon. Make sure that you get the whole set. They are the most recent additions from Tamashii Nations, and they look incredible. So Justin, what is your origin tale with Sailor Moon? And was it yesterday when you watched Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Eternal movie part 1 and 2?
That is correct, Dave. Holy smokes. I had no idea what was going on, but I was along for the ride. I will say that the Dead Moon Circus was right up my alley. I really liked how weird and creepy and bizarre they were. So I'm on board. I'll attend their circus.
Awesome. What about you, AJ? What's your genesis for Sailor Moon?
Kind of like with all other anime here in America, watched it on like Toonami, but I picked up every episode here and there, so I've probably never seen it in actual order. So it's probably like season 1 episode, season 4 episode, season 3 episode, back to season 1 episode. So
Yeah.
canonically, I don't know anything for the series.
Nice. Yeah, I was always aware of Sailor Moon. I'd watched the odd episode here and there. You know, I knew Tuxedo Man and all of the Sailor Scouts and stuff like that. But never, I would say, watched it with any kind of regularity. But I think it is probably one of the prettier animes. It's definitely got a unique look to it, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, so I guess we can dive into the movie. We've all seen it. AJ, you were telling me that this isn't an original film; it's a retelling of a previous story arc.
Yeah, so similar to how I said, like I watch every episode here and there. I remember like scenes from this movie where I'm like, isn't this like one of those later episodes? And my girlfriend was like, yeah, this is just season 4. I'm like, oh, I see. So there were parts that I recognize again, like the circus and like Chibi Usa like leaving, or I guess in my case, Chibi USA. That's how I remember her.
Plus, your text.
Oh yeah,
too.
Autocorrected USA to the flag.
Now, Sean, when you were watching it, did you recognize it as a previous story? Did you know going into it that this is just a retelling of, I guess, season 4 or something?
Yeah.
I heard it was a retelling, but as far as like animation, I saw up till Sailor Moon R. I guess they have animated this, but I've never seen it. So actually watching this I was able to like fill myself in, I guess. Yeah, so
Sailor Moon ran out of numbers, and so they went to letters.
I guess so. There's Sailor Moon S, R, and that's as much as I watched it. So
Nice.
yeah.
Now, did you watch dubs or subs when you watched it in the past? Are you a hardcore subtitle guy? You looking at me like
What's a dub?
Oh,
I know when I turned it on Netflix, all of a sudden I heard English and I was like, I don't understand this. It's what Sailor Moon speaking some strange language. I'm gonna go back to Japanese.
yeah, I'm with you on that one. I remember watching the original ones like in dub, but watching it on Netflix this time around, I'm like, I'm going to Japanese subtitles. But then as soon as subs came on, like I couldn't read either because it was like white with no background. So when the background,
There's no drop shadow.
Yeah, there's no drop shadow. So I'm like, what is that word? Okay.
And it hurts that like most of them are like made up words, so it's not like your like brain can even like automatically detect something. I did watch the dub. Everyone knows I'm a dub guy. At Anime EXPO in 2019, I spent about a day and a half with the voice actors that was brought up by Viz, and they were all just such amazing people that I felt like I needed to continue to support them. And not having seen the sub, so I can't compare the two, but I can say the dub is pretty good.
That make me look like a bad guy out here.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay, AJ.
What about you, Aya? Are you do you watch it in the original Japanese, which is kind of cheating for you because, like Sean, you speak Japanese. You don't have to read the subs.
Yeah, I watched in the original Japanese, and that was the thing. The main character Usagi's voice hasn't changed from the original series. And then for Japanese one, for this movie, except the Usagi, other character, the voice actor is all renewed, the all changed. So I was excited to see how the new voice actor doing for this movie. And then also there's a couple famous comedian in Japan do the voice actor for the enemy character. So it was pretty good to hear in the original Japanese version too. Yeah, and I love Usagi's voice.
No, Justin, you had mentioned the crazy circus, and there's a lot of out there things in this show, and that's definitely one of the cooler aspects. What about the circus spoke to you?
I think it's like the Hall of Mirrors thing that they had going on. Circus mirrors are always kind of weird and bizarre, not my jam. And then when one of the Guardians got stuck in the mirrors, it totally speaks like horror movie to me. So I was along for the ride.
Get me out of here. So, Sean, maybe you can explain to those who aren't as initiated with Sailor Moon the relationship between Chibiusa, Sailor Moon, and is it Mamoru?
Yeah.
Is that the okay?
Yeah.
Maybe you can explain that to us.
That is one of the hardest things to explain because I'm still trying to wrap my brain around like that's kind of why she turned into an adult during the first film, where it's like she likes her dad, but then it's her dad, so it's kind of that whole situation. And then Sailor Moon's kind of jealous, but it's like he's also at a loss because it's like that's going to be his daughter in the future, so he has to protect her, and Usagi gets kind of jealous, and it's that whole dynamic. But she is the daughter from the future, so
got a Freaky Friday situation.
High school kids taking care of a daughter from the future, basically.
So she's from like the 31st century, so like 3000 or whatever. What year does Sailor Moon proper take place in? Is it like current modern present time?
Well, the 90s one was 96, or probably like 92, I guess, when it was created or when it was animated. But I guess the newer one is newer.
I believe it's current time period.
So why is his daughter 1,000 years in the future?
They are moon
Moon Kingdom people.
They are moon people. So.
Anime, Dave.
It's in the movie.
Anime.
I love that the answer is they're moon people. Now, does that mean that they live longer, or is that what the answer is? So 1,000 years from now, he will have a daughter, or is she 1,000 years old?
It's a really long process.
Like elephants, like they're pregnant for like 2 years. Like moon people, they're pregnant for like 1,000.
Sure,
rough.
Anime.
Probably, yeah.
All right. Well, we won't focus on that too much. Aya, Justin mentioned some of the villains. The Hall of Mirrors and the Dark Circus. Was there anyone who stood out to you as some of the new characters that were introduced in this film?
Yeah. Actually, I thought I like the there's a 3 animals transferred to the enemies, and then the lion and a tiger and the fish and sorry, I forgot the last one.
Bird.
Like a hawk.
The bird, yeah. And then the Hawk one. The Hawk one was actually really interesting character. The enemy is supposed to be like really bad guy, but the Hawk one was kind of he had the dream when he became human, and then kind of conversation with the Sailor Moon, and then kind of he had the dream to have stores and stuff. So it was interesting to see that he's the enemy, but at the same time he has the heart. So yeah, I guess that was one of the interesting character in this new film.
Nice. And is your favorite Sailor Scout Mercury because you always had to play Mercury when you were younger? Do you still have the affinity for her?
It's a really difficult question, actually. Mercury is my favorite all the time, but now I like more Sailor Moon. It's I change the mind all the time. It depends on the like my condition or what kind of style I like. So yeah, Mercury is definitely my favorite for my childhood. But now I think Sailor Moon is more like I like her.
Nice, AJ. Let's get your baseline. Who of the new cast did you really gravitate towards, and who is your favorite Sailor Scout?
I'm not sure about gravitated to, but as far as my favorite, it's gonna be Mercury only on the simplicity of being blue. But in this movie, Uranus and Neptune in the second part, I thought they were bad bitches, and I thought these two are amazing. And I think the Outer Scouts definitely was really fun to watch for the second part compared to part 1, where it was just the regular Sailor Scouts.
Great. What about you, Sean? Who anyone from the new movie kind of stick out to you, and who is your favorite Sailor Scout?
I like the lion guy. He was pretty cool. Like when they got transformed, and like that was like the first one that fought the Sailor Scout. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I think he's a tiger.
Was it Tiger?
Yeah. Well, his name's Tiger's Eye.
Yeah, like Tiger or something.
He's a tiger?
I mean, according to the Wikipedia, where the experts
I
go.
just remember when he was turned into a human, he looked more like lion, like or something. So
I-
maybe
I
he was
hear
a
ya.
tiger.
I thought it was a lion too. A fabulous lion, actually.
Yeah, he's very. Yeah, that's how you could describe him. Fabulous.
Nice.
But I'd say scout-wise, Sailor Saturn. They made a big deal about her this season right before the movie, and she came back, and I was waiting for her to do something awesome, but she like ran out with Cherry Moon or Chibi Moon, and then like I think they got captured or something pretty quickly. She
We don't
was like,
have
"Let's be
we don't even
have
have Saturn up here. What's going
Nah,
on?
Saturn's
Not out yet.
September, I think.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa, look at that. He's trying to get
Everyone's
something from
got
the
ours
future.
pre-ordered.
Order your Saturns. Okay, Justin, and you, new characters, Sailor Scouts.
Well, yeah, so they're all new to me, but I definitely gravitated toward the tiger. But that's not a lion.
Or Lion.
But yeah, I loved his style. He was here and happy, and I loved it. I was here for it. Super fabulous. And then I would say that Venus is my favorite because of the orange skirt.
I do like.
We all know orange is our favorite.
I do love the orange.
Jupiter.
No,
Gravitate
oh,
towards your,
I couldn't say
favorite
the name.
color.
So looking at the orange skirt,
Oh, okay.
but my view is obstructed.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah, I love the Uranus and the Neptune relationship. I remember we had like figure out zeros for them, and they kind of like secretly held hands behind their backs, and it was magical. I loved it a lot. So we got two movies. You know, Pretty Guardian, Sailor Moon is part 1 and part 2. For me, it took a little bit of time to get going. Did you guys experience the same kind of thing to where there was a lot of
That's a yes from Justin.
so Justin, as someone who was new to the franchise, who hadn't seen anything before, were you surprised at how long it kind of took to get going for you, or how long did it take to get going for you?
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on, and they call each other's names a lot, and so that was fun. And I'm trying to just keep up. I'm taking notes. I have no idea what's happening. But then once the bad guys made their way onto the scene, that's who I was connecting with. I'm a bad Sailor Scout /
So
Guardian.
part 2 was a lot better for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when Crazy Lady got angry and got all ugly and gross.
Uh-huh. Yeah, same here. I think part 1 was a little bit slow to start off. Again, it was putting on subtitles. I probably should have put dub, but going into part 2, I was like, oh, this movie is a lot easier to watch. It's kind of something similar for anime for me, and just kept picking up, and I like that part. At least part 2 is my favorite.
Yeah. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, part 2 was a lot better. It was basically slugging through part 1 to get to part 2. And I think the most disappointing part was for me when they Chibiusa and Sailor Moon like they swapped ages. I was waiting for the reason. Like I was just sitting there waiting for like why did they do that? And then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, let's transform, and then they became like Chibiusa became a child again, Sailor Moon became an adult, and I was like, let's just forget about what just happened.
True.
And
Yeah,
I was like,
wipe it under the table kind of
Yeah.
thing.
The less thought about that, the better. And you, Aya, what as the super fan who used to play Sailor Moon in her backyard, what's your thoughts of part 1 and part 2?
Actually, I like part 1 more. The reason is there's more transformation sequence in the movie. I just love to watch the Sailor Moon or anyone's transformation sequence because it's so beautiful. And then also, I guess there's many voices about this, but there's a kiss sequence between the Arios and Chibi Moon. And when I watched it, I was like, oh, Arios is human. So that was, and then that was beautiful, like really beautiful sequence. The animation was really pretty, and then the effect, everything was really pretty. So I just love that sequence. So first one is definitely my favorite.
Is that when he was astral projecting? And then she's like, get back in your cage. You belong in there."
Something around that same
Yeah.
time. I do say that the animation in here has been amazing compared to the old style. Like, I think back then, like, people were drawing Dragon Ball characters and Sailor Moon characters. It's just an upside down house where you're just like this triangle and then up. But looking at how things are drawn now, like they're a little bit softer around the lines, and it's really nice to see the change from then to now. So that Helios scene, though I'm not a fan of the the kiss with the horse and Chibiusa, I think
End
the
up on a
animation-
watch list doing that.
Yeah, even the transformation sequence. I think when they put the flowers beside each one, I don't think that was in the original, right? So I'm like, this is nice. I don't know who your color designer or color theory person is, but worked well with me.
Very nice. So now that we know Justin is a huge Sailor Moon fan, now that he's been introduced, Sean, where would you recommend that he go to scratch that Sailor Moon itch? Should he go back to the beginning and watch some of the old ones, or is there somewhere modern that he can have like a jump off point for Sailor Moon?
If you have no time, watch Crystal. It's like they rush through it like crazy if you just want to like
Really?
binge Sailor Moon content, but the 90s one is like super 90s and Sailor Moon is boy hungry. So whenever a cute guy shows up, she's like, I don't care if he's evil. I'm gonna hit.
That boy.
That's what I miss about the original Sailor Moon is evil guy shows up, he's like, he's evil, but he's hot. So
Get in, we're going shopping.
yeah.
Gotta get some first. Gotta take care of herself first. There's nothing wrong with that. Justin, did this series make you want to watch more Sailor Moon, or have you realized that Sailor Moon, while you can appreciate it's a great anime, it just may not be for Justin Cavender?
Yeah, the latter. I'm not necessarily the demographic for it. I can say that there were parts that I really enjoyed and I thought was cool, but unless I were to start at the beginning and it all started to make sense, then I can't see me watching it. Sorry.
I'm gonna put this under the Zenitsu.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
But I mean, it was fun. I like the change sequences. I think it's really cool. I like how they're all having a good time, even when it's horrible. They still seem kind of like happy people. So it was fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. Aya, what would you say to someone who says maybe Sailor Moon's not for them, but they appreciate it? They're like kind of like Justin and I are. Would you try to change our mind by saying watch this, or is this a pretty good representation of what Sailor Moon is? These movies. So if you're not into these movies, you're not going to be into the series.
I think the original series, the first one, it's pretty fun to watch. I think the original one is more joke. The movie one is more serious, like fighting is the main thing, or the character building. But I think the original series is more joke, like Sean was saying, that like the girls chasing the boys, something like that. It's more casually watching sequence. So I think like if you maybe like you guys can try the original one, the first season, and then so maybe to see if you guys like it or not. I guess.
Yeah. What's the story with the cats? There were the 3 cats that I thought hung out with the scouts, but they're like up in a space station or something. I'm like, what's happening right
like
now?
Artemis, Luna, and Diana. Yeah, so like the white cat was originally like Venus's, and then what was it, like Luna? Yeah. Luna was for Sailor Moon. You can go more into
and they're
it.
in the basement of an arcade.
Oh.
They have to use a special score to get into like the basement by beating like some kind of level, and then it goes down.
Yeah, so they're not in space?
They're not in space.
I thought they were in outer space.
Yeah, it's like in the basement of some
Your
arcade, but
alley.
it's like I don't know why it looks like it's in space, but it's like it's supposedly in the basement of the arcade.
Oh man!
Unless they go into the basement and go into space or something, I don't know.
Clark's like, is it any good? I'm like, I don't know. There's space cats.
And Justin would find himself at the basement playing a video game at an arcade.
You probably get the high score and be like, it opens up and you're like, wait a second. There's space cats in here.
100% thought they were in outer space. Not gonna lie.
Well, now they have to be cats in space.
Yep.
Cavender, original fan fiction from Sailor Moon. Let's throw a monkey wrench into this. Steven is a big Sailor Moon fan. Steven, how did you like these films? So he loves it. Man, a few words, but many shakes and nods.
Came for the space cats.
Yeah. Now that he knows they're not space cats, though, he's like, not into the non-space cats of it all. Where does Sailor Moon go from here? Aya or Sean or AJ, you guys know where the story's going. What's next for Sailor Moon and her Sailor Scouts?
Season 5.
Season 5. I don't remember much from the original where it goes after.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure where it's going now. But the Chibiusa is going back to 30th century, so probably mainly more focused on the Sailor Moon, or could be the move to the 30th century and how the future world gonna looks like. I haven't read the original comics, so actually I'm not sure how the story goes, but I definitely want to check how the world looks like in the 30s.
And Sailor Moon's still ongoing, right, Sean? Or it hasn't ended, has it?
I don't know. I've never read it.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's done. It's one of those
Mm,
things where like every 10 years they made the unoriginal one, and now Sailor Moon Crystal is like the hey, we're gonna stick to the manga kind of style that anime does. They make their original like adaptation, and then everyone likes it, but then they want an original one, and then they make the original one, and then maybe 10 years from now they'll make a non-original one that everyone will love.
Nice.
So,
Now, AJ, do you like this? Since this is kind of a retelling of season 4, do you like it kind of like how they've done for like Gundam on Netflix, to where they the Mobile Suit Gundam 1, 2, and 3, kind of retelling a large swath of the Gundam series? Do you like these kind of like condensed like film adaptations, or do you prefer like the whole series?
Thinking about it, it's like each movie's a hour and 20 minutes, right? So like it'd be like 2 hours and 40. I think this is kind of one of those movies where episodic would have been way better, where it'd be breaking down to like 23-minute, 30-minute episodes, and then you can go get up, get a drink, get some food, come back, get to the next episode. I think this movie was exactly what episodes should have been versus a long movie, because I'm not gonna lie, 2 hours and 40 minutes, if that was in a theater, I would have already gone up. I'm like, I gotta stretch.
My popcorn is empty, my soda's
Uh,
empty.
and it's only 10 minutes in.
It took me like 6 hours to watch this too.
not
I
enough
just-
Space Cats.
I just kept pausing, like, I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. 6 hours later.
Yeah, that's how I watched it. I watched it like every 30 minutes, and I'm like, I'll get up, get a drink. I'm like, all right, where did I leave off? Play, and it's playing. I'm like, okay, another
Yeah.
30 minutes done.
I watched the first one in a parking lot of a park while my son was doing like scouts or something like that.
Oh
I'm
my
like, well, I got an hour to
goodness.
kill. Let's check out the Sailor Moon here. Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Eternal Part 1 and Part 2. So yeah.
I was making dinner. Yeah. I just
There
had
you
it moving it, or I had it going in the background, looking up and being like, did anything happen? Nope. Okay.
Now the cats are in space.
Yeah, now the cats are in space. Nah.
I have missed something.
Yeah, I think this is like when we talked about in the Demon Slayer movie one, like, it's such a short arc and it felt like one good movie. And again, this one it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's definitely longer. And so again, episodes would have done a lot better. Whereas like in the Demon Slayer movie, it's like if those were episodes, it'd be only like what, like 2-3 episodes, and like I'm done, I guess. So
Nice. All right. Well, let's go around and get some final thoughts on Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Eternal Part 1 and Part 2. Justin, we know that Sailor Moon is probably not something you're going to stick with for a long time, but what's kind of like your final thoughts and observations on the non-space cat movie?
Well, now I'm a little let down, disappointed that they're not in
Arcade cats.
space. I'm not gonna lie. That was my favorite part of the movie. Whatever. Our dream was robbed. But again, I like the circus. I thought the circus was awesome. I like that the bad guy was really struggling at the end. She was like grasping for straws and trying to get her power, and it just didn't work out for her. And she got what was coming. So it was fun. I like the tiger a lot, and the fish, and we determined a bird was the other one, right?
Hawk. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. I'm always a fan of animals turning into humans or humans turning into animals and having that Freaky Friday scenario that we were talking about. So I mean, it was cool. I'm glad I watched it. I just don't think I need to watch it ever again.
Okay. What about you, Sean? Any final thoughts on the film?
I'd say it just kind of went through the same paces as every other Sailor Moon. Like Justin was saying, it had like the bad guy grasping for straws at the very end. Every single Sailor Moon boss is kind of like that. She's a beautiful person, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's just an ugly witch lady. And like then she's like one grasp for power at the very end.
Yep.
And, no, we're gonna not defeat her. And then all of a sudden the Sailor Scouts come together. They get some secret power. They get new costumes, and then bam,
It's over.
defeat the evil lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I like the part 2. It was you just have to kind of slog through part 1 a little bit. It does have the Chibiusa getting big and the Usagi getting small, but I enjoyed that part. But I'd almost say you could skip part 1 if you wanted to,
That's
Oh,
interesting because
man.
I liked part 1.
because she likes the transformation,
Mhm.
likes
Right.
kissing unicorns.
Who doesn't, right?
They got magical powers.
Magical unicorn man.
Yeah, my wife saw all of like 1 minute of what I was watching because I had to watch a bunch of anime and stuff like that, and she walked in right as it was the scene where Chibiusa and Helios were kissing, and then he turned into a person, and she's like, "What are you watching?"
What story is The Princess and the Frog?
Right.
AJ, what are your final thoughts on the movies?
So I'm wearing the Kamen Rider jersey because at part 2, at the very end, when they are about to kick her butt, they do like this really crazy sequence where they give her Sailor Moon all her powers with like through themselves, and they're like, take it, and then she gets so strong, and then all it is just smack, take that mirror. And I'm like, that is very
Dominoes.
Yeah, I was like, that's a very Kamen Rider thing. Just get all this power for one attack and done.
Awesome. You are going to get the final word on Pretty Guardians Sailor Eternal Part 1 and Part 2. I have like OCD and I have to say the whole thing. But what are your final thoughts on this film?
Yeah, it was really beautifully done movie, and then I think that it's 25th anniversary of the Sailor Moon, so it's a really big deal that they made a part 1, part 2. It's obviously a long film, but they put so many power for making this because they have so many stories to tell. And then all the visual and the weapons is renewed, and then all like new designs. So it's cool to check it out. It's kind of refreshing somebody who watched Sailor Moon as a child, but now if they watch it again, they can enjoy again because it's all renewed. So yeah, highly recommend to watch this film.
Awesome. You got to listen to Aya. Aya says to watch it. You got to watch it. So I appreciate everyone. Thanks so much for watching us on our Bluefin deep dive into Pretty Guardians Sailor Moon Eternal Part 1 and Part 2. Make sure to go to bluefinbrands.com this whole weekend to get a bevy of amazing savings. Try saying that 10 times fast on just a bevy of items. We have some Shogogun items. We have a set of 6 Keyblades for $36. We have our Ultraman set, and that is only $25. We, of course, as Justin mentioned earlier, we have the Swordfish Sola Pop Nika, which is half off. It's only $40 this weekend. We got Captain Ginyu SH Figure Arts for $50. We got 2 for $55 on our NX Edge, 3 for $50 on our Figure Arts Minis, and so much more. Make sure to go to bluefinbrands.com to check it all out. While you're there, make sure to check out bluefinbrands.com/contest. Enter to win our Ultimate Demon Slayer giveaway. We're giving away, I believe it's a total of 19 items to the grand prize winner. Someone's got to win. Might as well be you. The contest runs through Monday, and you can enter every single day. So take a look. Justin's got it up on the screen for you right now. Make sure to enter daily, enter often, and enter as many times as you can. So that is it. So thank you, Sean, Aya, AJ, and Justin. Thanks, David, for being on the other 2 live streams. And we really appreciate you guys tuning in for these. And we will see you again next week for our Bluefin Hangout. So thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.